London beat speaks to that Irish part of my heart. Y'all don't know about that. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our opening words this morning are kind of a continuation of the joy I felt last Sunday when all those prose masters and wordsmiths tap danced back. I still got poetry on my mind. So thank you all again for that. And yes, I've had a couple of queries. We're going to do it again. Yay. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And it's in that spirit that I have the words of one John Waddell, the last paragraph of his poem. It says, reminds us, opening the eyes, we see there is no path, but only ways, where tendrils metamorph. Opening the eyes, we see there is no path, but only ways where tendrils metamorph. In the most delicate prayer, not yet known to us. Words of John. But what is known to us, what we kind of stand by, is our shared affirmation of mission. So if you would please, it is printed in your order of service, and let us say it together. This fellowship is a welcoming, diverse, and nurturing, beloved community that promotes progressive religious thought and practice to create a more just and sustainable world. Love those two words already. In thought and in practice. We do what we can because we're committed to starting our own little ripple into the world, or as I like to say, the whole enchilada. We're down with the whole thing. Our announcements today, let me open up with one I'm happy to share, that Ron Berkey is feeling better. And his doctor has cleared him to fly to Illinois to be with the family for Thanksgiving. So I have to make that announcement. And I'm going to ask Cora to come up, if she would please, to share another important announcement.
So I'm part of the outreach committee, and I'm pleased to announce that we collected $200, that's a combination of cash and checks, and 7 shopping bags full of individually wrapped snack items for the Sedona Food Bank after-school snack programs over the last 2 Sundays. The items included 97 juice packs, 136 breakfast and granola bars, 48 trail mix raisin and nut packs, and all kinds of miscellaneous items. I'm going to be delivering all of that to the Sedona Community Food Bank tomorrow morning. And I would like to thank you all so much for contributing everything, and that's from the whole community, and that's including Penny, Jan, and myself. So thank you very much. I think we did a great job.
Thank you.
Important word, outreach. No, we're not alone doing what we can. Another announcement from Pat. Michelle is here. And reminding us, as always, that deadline, or as I like to say, that lifeline, to submit that article for our December newsletter is November 29th. Okay, a week from this coming Monday. Another announcement from Pat. Sarah submitted an announcement last Sunday about helping the Sedona homeless population based on a recent presentation at the PFLAG meeting. So we want to make sure you're aware that the Sedona Area Homeless Alliance, as well as many other organizations that are doing great work in the Verde Valley and beyond, are listed on our SUUF website. You can find it under the listing of local resources under the drumroll Justice tab. So we do now what I like to call that UU umbrella. this flame. Let it remind us of our gifts, the gifts of grace and of gratitude. And let us use those gifts to bless this world in a spirit of love. And peace.
prophetic tasks of the church are to tell the truth in a society that lives in an illusion, grieve in a society that practices denial, and express hope in a society that lives in despair.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Christy. Good morning again, gracious ones. Today is a grateful day. If there's anything that I hope you see, gratefulness, gratefulness. great to be here. Great to be with all y'all. So I welcome you as I always do, in the name of all those folks behind me that you cannot see. We call them ancestors, and it is upon their shoulders that I stand, and know that I welcome you in the name of all that is holy, sacred, and important to you. Feeling real good standing here on the land of the Apache, the Navajo, Yavapai people. And as some of you know, my appreciation for Unitarian Universalism is summed up in the words of the place where that music comes from, coincidentally. And that would be ours. We do not ask what you believe. We do not expect you to think the way we do. But we are you views. So we do expect something. That you try and live a kind and helpful life with a dignity proper to that of a human being. So welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in this fellowship and in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. Hopefully something that is said today you can use, because it don't mean a thing
if it ain't got that swing.
So much. Today's talk is entitled Thanksgiving and Thanksgrieving. I ask myself the question, can both of those be held up to the light for what they are, what they were, in the same place, in the same space, in the same container? Is it possible? Sister Maya says, be present in all things and grateful for all things. So when I Googled Thanksgrieving, Thanksgiving kept coming up. So I did it again, and again, and again. Every time I shot Thanksgiving, and I said, perhaps that's a message. My crazy ideas up there, maybe they're just inseparable, or one of my favorite words, inextricable. In some kind of way, inextricably linked. Oh, that's a word that stuck with me since the 70s. I was in a protest. I never forget a man from South Africa said, well, inextricably, what was that word? I love that word. Inextricably linked. Now, personally, when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of my mama's dressing. My beloved calls it cornbread dressing. And it's just dressing. There ain't only no word in front of that. Is there any other kind of dressing? Yes. And dressing, and then we got, I think of them collard greens, I smell the mustard greens, green peas, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, and potato salad. And of course, good old turkey. So that's my walking number one image of Thanksgiving. I can smell it now. Though and we look at history, historically speaking, it was on October the 3rd in 1863, when President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed to set apart and observe the last Thursday in November next as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens. Fast forward into December 26, 1941, when President Roosevelt signed the resolution establishing the fourth Thursday in November as the federal Thanksgiving Day holiday. I, like most of you, pretty much thought I believed the same story about Thanksgiving. You know, the Pilgrims sat down together with the Native Americans to share a meal and to thank the native folk for helping with a successful first harvest. But that, my friends, that story has been proven to be riddled with mistruths. Now, I believe that on some level we all know that. Let's know about that. But I offer what's not discussed perhaps enough is what I call new truth. Some folks got a new word for it, kind of throw it under critical race theory. New truth about the holiday's history and the effect. You know, there's intention and there's impact. The effect that it has on many Native Americans. So why would some people choose not to celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, to see this time as Thanksgiving, the real origins, none of us were there. We count on the experts and the historians, and what we've gleaned that I believe we can believe, small b, is that the Mayflower did in fact bring settlers from England to land which they colonized and renamed Plymouth, Massachusetts. Right? So it was on a fall day in 1621. The Pilgrims celebrated their first successful harvest by firing guns and cannons in the sky. The noise alarmed the ancestors of the Wampanoag Nation. The people who lived on the land, and they went to investigate. Important point I want to put out for your understanding here is that there was a mutual defense pact already in place. Osamoquin was his name. He was the leader of the Wampanoag Nation and had declared an alliance with the white settlers. So the members of his tribe were showing up to honor a mutual defense pact. They heard the Pilgrims shooting their guns in celebration and thought they were in combat. But after some talk, they decided to sit down and spend 3 days together. Now, this type of coming together did not become a warm, fuzzy tradition as you may have been taught in school. For example, it was in 1637 that the then Massachusetts governor, one John Winthrop, declared a day of Thanksgiving after volunteers murdered 700 Pequot people. It was a day of Thanksgiving. Digress. Volunteers kill people. Volunteers are still killing people. This incident is often cited as the first official mention of a Thanksgiving ceremony, and is another commonly cited origin story for the Thanksgiving we know today. So the atrocities against Native folk did not end with disease or massacre. So seeing people celebrating the positive myth around Thanksgiving can be frustrating and painful for many indigenous people. Let's listen to their words. These are the words of Dr. Adrian King of the Cherokee Nation. Adrienne says, I'm sitting at the airport the day before this weird holiday that we call Thanksgiving. I'm wearing a t-shirt that reads, "This is native land." I keep sitting up and straightening pulling my arms back and pulling my shoulders back, daring folks walking by to look, to read it, and to reflect. I'm frankly out of words right now. I'm exhausted. I spent the last 2.5 months traveling all over the United States, talking to college students and communities about Native representations. It was 3 days ago that I also watched as a bridge in Cannonball, North Dakota, in a community of water protectors that I had just left, it was turned into a war zone. I cried in my bed with my computer on my lap as a water cannon rained down in icy sheets on protectors that I know and love. I watched my friends panic live streams and my sister colleague sent me images that looked straight out of a horror film, noting that she was okay. She was just mildly teary-eyed. I don't know what to do. I still really don't know what to do. Malia Chun, a Hawaiian native, has this to say. Me, I'm just a woman on a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific. And as I sip my tea, I think about the holiday Americans call Thanksgiving. I'm not thinking about oven roasting, overstuffed turkeys, or the smell of pumpkin pie baking, or the endless sales that feed our consumer appetites. No. I'm thinking about the thousands of faces of mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and children being brutalized. Now these faces are 3,652 miles away. But in them, I see my own mother, my own father, my own brother, my own sister, my own children. You see, I am Hawaiian, and I too understand the pull and ache. Need to digress for just a moment. When I read that this morning, the pull and the ache, I had to reflect back on last night. I saw a movie last night. I can't act like I just saw a movie and kiss you. No, that movie moved me. I want to talk about that movie for just a moment. It was called See You Then, a movie about a transgender person in today's world. An example of living with a pull and an ache. As I envisioned that person sharing their story, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to change your gender? A girlfriend said something I'll never forget. It's bigger than a want. This ain't no want. This is not a want. I may describe this. It's a pull and an ache. An example of living with the pull and ache. Like black folks, Latinx folks, all marginalized folks. There's an ache. And there's a pull. An invisible pull. I want to honor that pull on this Thanksgiving Day. So Malia from Hawaii continues. The pull and the ache one feels, what is the pull? To protect the sacred, to protect all life, all people, all life. Regardless of what you look like or who you love or how you love. All people. To protect our ancestors and our descendants For Native people, this pool and ache is not a choice. It was back in 1842 that a young Hawaiian by the name of Timoteo Ha'alalio felt the same pull, that same ache of responsibility. Hawaiians call it kuleana, kuleana, kuleana. This drove this young Hawaiian across the world to gain European recognition for the independence of the Hawaiian nation. Timoteo was successful. He was successful. And Hawaii became the first non-European indigenous nation to be recognized within the League of Nations. Sadly, he died before his return home. But to honor his accomplishments and his efforts, the Hawaiians created a holiday, November the 28th. In 1842, Hawaiian Independence Day, or La Kuakoa, La Kuakoa, La Kuakoa. After the illegal overthrow of Hawaii's kingdom in 1893, colonizers banned La Kuakoa, replaced it with what we now call Thanksgiving, in hopes of forever erasing Hawaii's history of independence from the mind of its descendants. Malia goes on. As for me, a mom on a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific, on the day Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, I celebrate La Kuakoa, Hawaiian Independence Day. And I think of my Native American brothers and sisters 3,652 miles away, fighting for what is sacred and essential to human survival: land and water. And I then sharpen my spear and I prepare for the pull, prepare for the ache of ancestral obligation. So for me, that story is an example of what I call kind of some new truth. Perhaps for you too. So, it has been 400 years since the first Thanksgiving was held. Took a year, matter of fact, 1621. 400 years ago. On land renamed Plymouth, Massachusetts. That day marks a celebration for many and a day of mourning for me. Y'all know my wish. I'm not a melting pot kind of guy. I'm a salad maker kind of guy. We gotta come together, but let that radish stay a radish. Can't make that tomato an onion. Oh, but when you get that tomato and that onion and then all sitting on the same land or bed of lettuce together, can't beat it with a stick. So let us be consciously aware of the joy and the power that's inherent in truth-telling. There's power there. Yes, there's joy. As we do our best to embrace a sense of gratitude for this gift of life. Gratitude. Give thanks. Gratitude for this gift of life. Knowing that our answers are never complete. Knowing that our answers are never complete, and that it is it be so. Blessed be. Amen. I see. So join me in a moment of silence, if you would, please. May we find some wisdom in that silence. We have been warmed by fires that we did not build. We have drunk at wells that you and I, we didn't dig those wells. So in gratitude of our many blessings and in clear recognition of our many needs, this morning's offers for this community, for this fellowship, will now be received. And we all know, honoring COVID, your donations, please put them in the container on the table. The joy of what we just felt and heard, our visiting musician friends known as Four Shillings. Christy and Aodh, please take one of their brochures and feel free to sign in on the email list that they have. And they also have several of their CDs available outside. So can we put our hands together for them just one minute? I want to talk about them, about also mentioning who's missing, and that's our dear Susanna Martin. And you go, she's in our souls and hearts. Susanna is taking a well-deserved Brittany action. Yeah. I already mentioned about Ron. But other first choice was welcoming any visitors. I don't know. Do we have any folks who are here joining us for the first time? Yes. Let's give a welcome. If you feel we ask that you sign our visitor list in the back. And I also want to give a shout out and mention to the 100 Questions book donated by Peggy Connect. We appreciate placing a $5 donation in our collection jar. It's a beautiful, great book. 100 questions that folks might ask you about you. Beautiful. Thanks to Carolyn Kavanaugh's tireless work, we have been recertified as a nationally recognized LGBTQIA welcoming foundation. There's our official certificate, held up by Chris. And quick to mention that was part of the celebration of last night, the viewing of that film. And if I'm around, that place needs to be packed. In terms of the beautiful Mary Fisher Theater, the beautiful gathering. We talked about the joy for Ron. Happy he's here. He's feeling better and on his way to Illinois. Yes. Lastly, for all those joys and concerns that are still on your head and heart that you chose not to mention, we recognize those as well. A lot of those. May it be so.
Brittany Packnett says, "In times like these, I look to the past. I come from people not meant to survive. And here is our bloodline, stronger than ever."
Stronger than ever. How about closing song? Hard times come again no more. you know, I tell you, but you can come back anytime y'all close. Anytime y'all close. We are grateful. That's our word for the day, grateful. Grateful. Grateful, grateful. Grateful for all of y'all. You could be anywhere. You chose to be. And for that we are grateful. Someone called them gratitude. I see gratitude in front of me. I see gratitude behind me. I see gratitude to the left of me, and there's gratitude to the right of me. I see gratitude above me, and I can feel gratitude below me. So from that place of grace and gratitude, until our paths cross again,